Good evening, everybody. This is the Grumpy Old Guy Gaming here on Fragment Friday, back with our level 8 long arm Grumpo Guy. Last week we had a bit of a stumble. Of course, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's what you do when you get back up, and we find ourselves here in Netslum, rough part of town, and we are going to be taking on a dungeon on this Fragment Friday. And here we are in the dungeon. It is a forest field, so we're going to save ourselves a fairy's orb right off the bat. Picking up a piney apple, good way to start. Once again, level 8 today, 316 experience, a decent ways in. Going to give ourselves a physical defense buff. How's everybody doing today? Fragment Friday, so if you've got .hack Fragment downloaded, or if you have the disc and a PlayStation 2, this is an especially good day to just go ahead, fire it up, and run a dungeon. If not, maybe it's a good time to look into it. Growing community on the Discord at Fragment Resurgence. Also, .hack Network has a considerable section devoted to Fragment. Going up against a couple mimics right away here, got confused, and just gonna hack our way through. Long Arm is a specialist in physical attacks and skills. Got the Bloody Spear equipped with its Death Touch effect, so got a bit of an edge, no pun intended, when it comes to physical combat. Pick the moon up out of that chest and head to the room above us. Here we find a Spring of Mist. Gonna go ahead, drop in a Spear of Spell. Talk to Mishore, who's gonna ask us whether it was a golden axe or silver axe we dropped in. For a sentient drop of water, he sure doesn't pay attention. Turns out the item's a bit too powerful for him to tinker with. On this field, it's sunny weather, so if he would have been able to do anything with it, it would have improved in value. That said, we are going to get the spear back as is, as well as a gold and silver axe. No, it didn't quite have the axe icons there, so we're going to pop into the inventory just so you could see, in fact, one golden axe and one silver axe, in addition to the Spear of Spell. Always nice to get those, as they're very tradable items in the offline campaign. Gonna head back down now. Continue exploring this field. Here we come up on a couple of Mushroom Kings, Earth Element monsters, fairly high hit points, but fairly soft defense. Managed to go ahead and take them out with relative ease. Give ourselves a nice little heal to get back up to 201 hit points before moving on to the next. And it's another Mushroom King. This one drops a trapped chest, so we're just going to go ahead and disarm that with Fortune Wire, and let's see what's inside. We've got ourselves a grand armor. Not the most useful thing for us, it's a heavy armor and we can only wear medium, but everything sells for cash, and you can't argue with that. Once again confused by the Mimic right out of the gate. Much to the Mimic's detriment, because we just keep hacking away at it until it's nothing but splinters. Take out the Mushroom King as well, and when we are in full control of our faculties, go ahead and heal up the damage that we took. Moving to the next room, we have a medium-sized corridor and a couple monsters out of the portal. Once again, Mimic and Mushroom King. Taking out the Mimic in our confusion, following up with the Mushroom King. Get a little bit of a breather before we come to our senses, and then charge at the door. Found our way down, but there's still a little bit of field to explore, so let's go ahead and check out what's left. I believe this was an equal level field. I want to say this was either level 8 or level 9 on the field. So not the most challenging field, but a fair challenge for us solo. Take out a dust curse there, and now we've got a couple of mushroom kings. Once again, opening a trap chest. This one gives us a mage's soul. Probably one of the more welcome things you're ever going to see out of a trap chest. Go into this room here, and it's piney apple number 2. You're lucky to catch a piney apple, to be honest, on a forest field. They're not the most readily spawning of grunty foods. These fields in general are notoriously stingy, so seeing 2 on a field is incredibly good luck. Going back through the corridor, we've got one more direction to explore here before we backtrack to the dungeon entrance. Gonna turn down here, and once again through the door. We've got a portal, and inside that portal is a mushroom king. That's all field portals open, so we make quick work of that. As you can see, the little spider web blocking the entranceway fades out once our battle is done, and lo and behold, it's a 3rd piney apple. Incredible luck. So that's 3 piney apples, a fairly easy run through the monsters, and a couple items to pick up to help better our financial status after the game. Build up some of those gold points, buy some new items and the like. Here we go to the dungeon entrance, and we will find our way in. Okay, first floor of the dungeon, and we're going to take a moment while we're walking this long hallway. Zoom out here, adjust ourselves. Check our status real quick, and we're up to 430 experience, so we picked up about 115 thereabouts on the field. Not too bad at all. Coming up on the first portal here. I am going to say we're not going to try to 100% this as we run into a Fiend Menhir, a Dust Curse, and a Mimic. Make that 2 Dust Curse. Take out the Menhir first so we don't have to worry about monsters reviving. But before I can take the Mimic out, I get confused and go to town on the rest. In hindsight, probably best to take out the Dust Curse before the Mimic there. Mimics are annoying, but Dust Curse could pile on some serious damage if you let them go unchecked. Plus, I do believe they are the most vulnerable of the 3, certainly the lowest hit points. So if you can take them out in a hurry, that's probably the best place, so you have the fewest things wailing on you while confused. Pick up a pair of Fools, the consumable, and we're moving into the next room. Here we come up on a pair of Mimics. Confusion almost guaranteed there, but not much doing for the Mimics. Really, Confusion is just saving my thumb here for a second. Don't have to keep pressing that attack button. Finish it off, go ahead and heal, and 8 more experience to the tally. Here's another square room. Bunch of these rooms with a big square in the middle there. Picked up a holy sap out of that. Just making our way around. Pick up a health drink there, always welcome. And an antidote. Gale breaths out of both chests there. Those nice earth element spell scroll. next room, and this is a rather large room and a rather daunting battle. 3 Fiend Menhir. You can already see the issue with 3 Fiend Menhir as we took one out quick and it came right back. Run into that problem a second time and we decided to data drain while we had one in range. Gives us a bit of a debuff, but it's magic defense, not really hurting us in this battle as we're whacking away at the Menhir, and the Menhir are whacking right back with physical attacks. There we're able to take out the 2 intact Menhir without any revivification stunts, and then we take out the one we data drained. Finally done with the battle, pick up a chest, and once again the Fool is acquired. Walk through this long hallway. And through the door we find a portal and a right turn. Nice straightforward battle with 2 Dust Curse, not the most exciting thing we'll see. Go ahead and renew our defense buff before we go too far here. Try and keep track of that as well as I can. Here we go up against 3 Dust Curse and a Mimic. Once again, confused early and often. But we get through it pretty well and in relatively good shape. 117 hit points left. Gotta wait for the confusion to wear off, pick up this treasure chest, and then heal before moving on. Always important to try and stay as full on hit points as possible. You never know when you're going to run into that tricky battle on the other side of a door. This room, however, was fairly safe, and we pick up an invisible egg. Invisible in name only, of course. Come to a Fiend Menhir, a Mimic, and a Dust Curse. Nice little purple and green color scheme here. Fans of the Joker would absolutely love this dungeon. Pick up the levers out of that chest there. And here we stumble upon a nice little treasure room. Mage's Soul out of the chest. And nothing really out of the breakable objects, so we'll backtrack and look for another avenue to go. Looking for those stairs down to level 2. Here we've got a rather large room, this time widening out in the middle instead of having a big square taken out of it. 3 Dust Curse and a Mimic. Finding ourselves once again confused. If you are partaking in a beverage tonight, perhaps the game of choice would be to take a drink every time we get confused. Probably not a good idea. Drink responsibly, folks. Gonna pick up a treasure chest next to a rather large skeleton trapped in a wall. This somehow does not confuse us, and we carry on. Here we walk headfirst into a Fiend Menhir that you'd swear, again, we would have noticed. After playing a quick game of freeze tag with a pointy object, it falls to the ground and we carry on. And there's the stairs down to the 2nd floor. Overall, confusion was a little frustrating, but the 1st floor cleared easily enough. Can't really complain with that, and we move into the 1st room of the 2nd floor. Past that empty room comes a rather large room with a side passage and a door opposite. And we find a Fiend Menhir and a Mushroom King out of this one. Priorities pretty well straightforward on this. Take out the Menhir so we don't have to kill the Mushroom King but once. Finish that battle off and we pick up some experience and a couple treasure chests for our troubles. First one has Green Gale and so does the second. So it's the treasure so nice we opened it twice. Here's a room full of breakable objects. Usually you get a couple consumables out of rooms like this. So far we've got an antidote, and to that tally we will be adding... well, nothing so far. Gale Breath out of the chest. Hey, a health drink out of the final one. So 2 consumables and a Gale Breath scroll. Moving to that side passage there. Get a little confused there, though. Something about those rooms that are just sort of quarter turns always throw me off. Wasn't thrown off by the Mushroom King though, took him out and moved readily to the next. And here we've got a Mimic and a Mushroom King. Revisit our state of perpetual confusion. And take out that Mushroom King in swift order. Some serious damage coming his way. First attack over 200, and second attack darn near it. Pick up another Mage's Soul in that chest. Mage's Souls always welcome as they are a valuable consumable both in terms of utility and overall price point, doubly so when you're playing a Wave Master. Here we are a long arm, and while we're not relying on our spells, it doesn't hurt to have those skill point replenishments in full stock. Take out the Fiend Menhir on 3 swift strikes. Moving out of our S-words here to take on the Mimic. Confuses us at the end, so we get a nice little break here. This break is brought to you by the state of confusion and the 1,000 glowing question marks that float about your head. Renew that defensive buff, and we continue forward. Hope everybody's having a nice day today. Once again, Fragment Friday, because we are loving alliteration. Here's a Fiend Menhir. Take it out and move on to the Mushroom King. Quick heal, and we will go in the side passage first, just because that's the direction I went. Pick up an antidote out of there. And find our stairs down to the 3rd floor, so nice and easy, not too much backtracking to go, and we picked up more items to add to our supply. Floor number 3 now. Continuing on through this dungeon. Pick up a treasure chest right away, and it's got the moon in it. Seems to be a physical impossibility, but we're just gonna assume that was a scroll. There's a Holy Sap and a health drink out of those 2 breakable objects, and a Gale Breath out of that top chest. So we're just going to go ahead in this door since it is handy. Small room there, didn't see anything of interest, so we're just passing through. And we come up on a Scorpion tank. Big old water monster, a lot of hit points, very sharp tail. Probably the most durable monster we've seen to date. Good sized battle there, and a good sized chunk of experience for winning it. 15 experience from that one monster. Large enemies tend to appear just on their own, or maybe with 1 or 2 small enemies, but the reward for taking them out is very tangible. There we get 10 for a Fiend Menhir. Nice easy work, nothing else to distract us. pick up a grand armor out of the chest once again. Can be cashed in for gold pieces. Little else we could do with it with a long arm. And we get the moon out of that chest before moving on. Another treasure room here with another invisible egg happily bouncing away until we pick it up. Suppose it's making that noise because it thinks we can't see it. Respond in the comments if you've actually laughed at anything, intentionally, accidentally, or otherwise. Pick up a green gale out of the chest. Last pot. Smash that open and get nothing but a satisfying sound. Now we've got a little bit of backtracking to get back to that center room there and try a different direction, as that was a dead end. This time we don't get too turned around in this semicircle room, but we do pick up a couple more Fiend Veneer. Take them both out in quick order, but the third is able to revive, and on the battle continues. Finish it a short time later, pick up our experience, and move on our merry way. Second in what's going to be a recurring weekly series, Fragment Friday, we're going to upload at least one dungeon run a week just to celebrate .hack Fragment on the day that it shares our first letter with. Can't take credit for this particular promotion. I first saw it on the .hack Network Discord. If you're a fan of just about anything .hack, that would be the place to go. Here we've got a long corridor, so we're going to check our status again and find that we've gained a considerable amount of experience. Not quite into threat range of leveling, but we've got 728 experience down on this level on our way back to level 9. 9 so far is as far as I've progressed with this long arm, and I was sad to say I died shortly after acquiring level 9 in that dungeon and leveled back down to 8. Been a bit of a slog with this character, not gonna lie. It was my first stall, and it's quickly become my lowest level character. Just not the luckiest runs when I run it. Don't know if it's just soloing too much, or perhaps challenging too high a field on my own. Maybe a lack of coffee. Probably the coffee. Running into shield men now. Shield men are interesting monsters. Got a fairly high defensive stat and the ability to use their shields to block an attack. That's right, you could hit it for 0 damage and it'll pop up and say shield, just in case you weren't sure which part of the monster blocked the attack. Here we're opening another portal, and there's a treasure chest in it with a silver bracer. There's the moon out of that chest. Destroy that corpse warrior, it had nothing but dust. Get the levers out of that chest, one more corpse warrior to smash, and nothing in it. So we will go forward. And there's our statue room. We have made it to the end of the dungeon. Pick up a frost armor, a grunty doll, and a speed charm. That's where we're gonna call this one. We will take it as a successful redemption run on Fragment Friday number 2. This has been a grumpy old guy gaming, quickly reviewing our equipment to see that virtually nothing of use has been picked up. Not the biggest loss in the world, because again, this can't be traded in for gold pieces. Thank you very much for watching. Again, if you play .hack Fragment, or are looking to play .hack Fragment, no better time than right now. Go ahead, fire it up, and have fun playing. We'll catch you next time.